In this video, we'll be talking about the solids, the types of solids, the parts of solids, and classifying solids. A solid is a three-dimensional figure or object that does not lie in a plane. So it's not flat, it has depth. They have length, width, and height. Some examples of solids include prisms, pyramids, cylinders, and cones. And you can see just below prisms, there's some examples of types of prisms. Below pyramid, there's some examples of real-life pyramids. Same for cylinders, and also some real-life examples of cones. Starting with prisms, they have two congruent bases, and we name prisms by the shape of their base. The two congruent bases are two congruent polygons. And the lateral faces are parallelograms. If you look at the rectangular prism here at the shaded in red, there's the base, and here's the base. You can see that they're the same, they're congruent. And then if you look at the lateral faces, those are the ones that aren't shaded. So in the rectangle, looking here at this green, here is a lateral face. And it's a parallelogram because the opposite sides are parallel. So these are actually, all of these things are the lateral faces that aren't shaded for that one. If you look down here where it's shaded in orange, the pentagonal prism, the base is shaded here, and then also here's the other congruent and parallel base. The sides that are not shaded would be the lateral faces in the pentagonal prism. So the pentagonal prism has two bases and has 5 lateral faces. The rectangular prism has 2 bases and 4 lateral faces. Looking next at the hexagonal prism here, the base here is shaded in yellow. There's also another congruent and parallel base over there. Those are the 2 bases. All the other faces would be the lateral face. If we looked at the net of a prism, so here's the net drawing here. If we looked at that in some detail here, this would be a base. This would be a base. Here is a lateral face. Another lateral face. Okay, so where LF means lateral face. Alright, if we look at the hexagonal prism, base edges are going to be any edges that touch the base. So if you look at the hexagonal prism, there's a base edge, there's a base edge, another base edge, and all the way around. These are base edges here in black. Okay. So those are base edges. The edges that are not the base are going to be the lateral edges. So looking again at the hexagonal prism, this here is a lateral edge, another lateral edge, back here would be one, and back here would be one. So those are the lateral edges. If we were to look at the net, these here in black would be the base edges. And then those that are in gray are going to be the lateral edges. Alright, so pyramids are next. They have exactly one base, which is a polygon, and the lateral faces are triangles. So looking here at this particular pyramid, here's the base. We name pyramids by the shape of their base. So that's going to be called a square pyramid. So the base here is shaded in orange. The triangle one here, so looking at this, the shape of the base, shading that in, that's going to be called a triangular pyramid, because again we should name pyramids by the shape of their bases. And if you look at the net, it's already shaded in orange, and also the net, the lateral faces are all triangles. So the base here is in orange, and then the lateral faces are triangular, and those are in yellow. So you got lateral faces in yellow. That's a lateral face, that would be a lateral face, and over here would be a lateral face. If we're looking here at the triangular prism, that would be a base edge in black, that's a base edge, and that's a base edge. So those are base edges. There's one there, one here, and then that one over there. In gray here, I'm going to do the lateral edges. So this is a lateral edge, here's a lateral edge, and here's another lateral edge. So this triangular pyramid has 3 lateral edges and 3 base edges. So those are lateral edges. This one is, that one is, and that one. Cylinders are another type of common solid. They have 2 bases that are parallel, so they would never intersect, and they're also congruent circles. So looking at this cylinder shaded in orange is one of the bases, and here is the other. They're both congruent and parallel. So that's a base, and that's a base. In the net drawing, the base is right there, and it's also right there. That means the lateral face is going to be this rectangle there. That's a lateral face, and also that would be a lateral face there. Another type of solid is a cone. It has exactly 1 circular base and 1 vertex. So here's the circular base, shaded in orange, and the vertex is going to be where the point is. So there's the vertex. Alright, so skew lines. Skew lines are lines that do not intersect, and they are not parallel. So in the first example here it says GF, which is this side here, and HC are skew lines. So, and then it's the back edge there. So if those lines continue out infinitely, they would never intersect. Listed there are some other examples of skew lines. Looking down at this one on the bottom right here, I just want to highlight this side here and this side here would be examples of skew lines, because if you continue them out both directions, they are not parallel and they would never intersect, so those are skew lines.